When we're working with a client, we may be asked to use existing data that they have, which may be given to us electronically, and if they get that to us, we can use an import facility in the SQL Server to help us bring data quickly from their source into your target database. So we're going to be working with the college database as an example, so that you can use this as a teaching method or a training method, so that when you get to the yachting database, you'll be able to do this quite easily. So we're going to work with two tables. I'm going to show you using the age groups table, which is called student age group in my database. And we're going to import data into this from a text file. Now let's look at the columns in our student age group table. There are two columns or fields in our age group table. The first one is the ID, which is obviously an integer, and it's got all the rules there. It's the primary key. And the second one is a text field, which I've got a varchar 20 on, which is the age group name. Okay, now when we get our text file, it's important that what we have in our text file matches these fields in order, because otherwise the data will not be successfully imported. What we can do now is look at our text files, which I've got in my editor, and we're going to use this script to get the data to table student age group. Let's look at the data. I've called it agegroups.txt, and I've stored it in my root drive so that it's really easy for me to find. So it's 1 is the ID number, 2, 3, 4, etc. So we're specifying those, and these are the text items which represent the second field in that table. I've got them in the right order. They mimic what is the structure of the data in the database. So let's look at our script. This script contains lots of commands, and I'll go through them each of them so that you understand what's happening. That's a comment there which says a bulk import. Here's the command itself, bulk. It's telling the server I'm going to give you bulk import, so I'm going to ask you to loop through some information until all of it's been read. Insert into table student age group. Here's where you will find the source information that I want you to import into student age group, and it's going to be in this text file here. And when you read this text file, I want you to do this with it. Between each field of data you will find a comma. Now be really very careful about that grammar and punctuation there. It's very important. And at the end of each record you're going to find the carriage return symbol, which will tell you that you should go to a new record. Go. Carry out these instructions as I've specified. After all of them have been instructed, we give it a new instruction that says check by going select everything, that's the wildcard symbol, from student age group. Go. So let's copy this script onto my clipboard, and we'll go back to my server. If I go to the college database and right click it and put a new query, I can paste my content from my clipboard straight in there. Here's my script telling it to go to this file and put it into student age group. When you've done that, give me the records that have been created. It's done it, and there are my records inside my student age group column, and age group name have been successfully imported from a text file. Now this is very trivial. I could just as easily have gone to my database and entered these directly, or used my application to enter them. But consider the situation when you might have many hundreds of these to do. If you can get them electronically directly from your client, then they're going to be exactly what they need you to do, rather than you having to type them in, where you might make mistakes, you might miss some and so forth, and those are the things we've gone through many times before. But this is a really quick way of doing it. Additionally, a text file is terribly small and is a really efficient way of getting data from one place to another, and it can actually be very quick. That happened quite quickly here, and it wouldn't take a lot longer for things to be imported if there were many records. So that's how you import into the database. Now what you will do next is you'll get a text file from Moodle, and you'll have to use the script to import into tutor type. Let's look at the script and the text file in the editor. Here's the tutor types that I'm going to say. We need 4 records again, full-time, part-time and fractional, sessional and inactive. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the ID numbers, and here's the script. Now there are 3 things you have to change in this script in order to make it read from the new file and put it into the different table. I'm going to ask you just to consider that for a moment, and then I'll tell you which ones they are. There are 3 things to change. You're going to change that one because that's going to be a different table from student age group. Now I'm not going to give you the answer, but you're going to change it to a different table. You're going to change the name of the text file to reflect where it will find this different data. And then when you do your select, you're obviously going to change which table you read the data from to verify that the data has been successfully imported. It's your turn to practice now with tutor types.